Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. I'm your host, Jimmy Apple. Hey, how you feeling today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. How you making out with your medication? You taking the medication the way you're supposed to? Excellent. Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. I want to remind you, An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. Famousapple.com is the home site for this podcast. And if you haven't been there lately, you got to get over there and check the website out. We have a brand new website, and coming up this week, we have a new feature on the website. It's called Famous Apple Shops. Now, I'm not going to go into what it's about. One thing I will tell you, we're not selling t-shirts or jackets with our name on it or anything like that. Nope, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. I'm not telling you what it's about yet, though. I want you to see it for the first time and just be surprised, because you're going to be happily surprised. Believe me when I tell you that. But it's called Famous Apple Shops, and that's all I'm going to tell you right now. But as soon as it's up and ready this week, there'll be another Slice of the Apple podcast out letting you know, and you can go over there and check it out. And while you're tripping around the web, I want you to check out www.famousapple.com/group. That's our Facebook group page, Living with a Disability. There's a great group of people over there. There's a lot of conversations going on, questions being asked, questions being answered, friends being made. Go over there, check that out. It's a lot of fun, and who knows, you're making a couple of new friends. You like it, trust me. Well, we've got a very important message came in on the news wires this morning, and I want to share this with you. It's about this new Delta variant with the COVID-19. It's scary, my friends. It's definitely scary, but I want to share this with you. So sit back and check this out.
Health Organization's decision to encourage those who are fully vaccinated to wear masks, as a result of the highly transmissible Delta variant, is a good idea, according to University of Arizona College of Medicine Phoenix. We don't want to wait until after the fact, and get caught with this thing already ahead of us, when we know that masks work, according to the College of Medicine. To put this in context, the Alpha variant, which originated out of the UK, was about 50% more infectious and transmissible. The Delta variant is 60% more infectious than that. The Delta variant, which was first identified in India, has now spread to more than 80 countries. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, officials warn it will likely become the dominant strain in the U.S. in a matter of weeks as infections attributable to the highly contagious variant spread rapidly nationwide. COVID-19 cases caused by the Delta variant currently account for about 1/5 of new coronavirus infections in the U.S., according to the CDC. The CDC needs to act quickly, without waiting, to follow the WHO guidelines and ask everyone to put the masks back on so we can stay open, protect folks, and keep the economy going, the university said. We're already seeing preliminary numbers out of Israel where fully vaccinated people are getting sick. Preliminary findings by Israeli health officials found that about half of adults infected by the Delta variant in the country were fully vaccinated, the Wall Street Journal reported. And as it stands now, the Delta variant is likely causing about 90% of new infections in Israel. Outbreaks of infections, largely driven by the Delta variant, have prompted governments, from around the world, to reimpose coronavirus-related restrictions. South Africa is imposing at least 2 weeks of lockdowns, while about 10 million Australians are also under lockdown. Here in the U.S., Los Angeles County officials are urging all residents to wear masks in public indoor spaces, regardless of vaccination status. We have gotten into this false sense of security thinking it's okay to take off masks, warned leading doctors at the College of Medicine Phoenix. The best thing to do is to start putting the masks back on to prevent another surge from happening, and if you're unvaccinated, now is the time to get vaccinated before this Delta variant comes for you.
Now, this is the same thing I've been saying right along. These shots are not silver bullets. They're not going to protect you 100%. The masks work. We've seen them work right from the beginning. We wore them. It started knocking the numbers right down. People are still dying even though they're getting the shots. The shots are not foolproof. They're another arrow in your quiver, but they're not foolproof. They're not going to take this scourge away. So please wear the masks. And with this Delta variant, wear the gloves. What does it take by going into a store, putting on a pair of latex gloves? This way you're not passing it by touching things in the store, and you're not picking it up by touching things in the store. Using self-checkout, you don't know what the person before you had. The same thing when you go to a gas station. Picking up the gas pump, you don't know what the person before you had, that you're picking up the gas pump right after somebody else. It takes seconds to put on a rubber glove or a latex glove. It takes seconds to put a mask on, to walk in. And you're protecting not only you, you're protecting your family, you're protecting the other people in the store, whether they're friends, family, strangers. And they're protecting you by wearing the mask. It takes so little time to save a life. Not only yours, but somebody else's. And anyone that tells you it's an inconvenience to put a mask on, they're a liar, okay? And you can tell them I said so. All right, let's move on here because I want to get to our guest. Today on An Apple a Day, we have a very special guest. She's the creator, the administrator, the moderator, the chief cook and bottle washer over at that vegan disabled gal. Her name is Erin Fernandes. Now, let me tell you something. I've had a lot of people on the podcast, but this young lady, she has quite a following. I've had people writing me to see if I actually am having her on the podcast. Yes, that's right. She has a fan base, and I know why. Because she happens to be one of the nicest, most genuine people I have met in a long time. And she is knowledgeable when it comes to disability and people in general. She's knowledgeable. She's nice. And like I said, she's genuine. She's not one of those phonies. She's not somebody that gets on the internet and types like there's sugar dripping out of her mouth, and when she's off the keyboard, she's just a rotten person. No, she's genuinely nice. Now, we originally planned on talking about caretakers and caregivers, and dealing with them sometimes can be really rough. But we got off on a tangent. We started talking about everything. We went off on several different topics, and believe me when I say we could have talked for hours and hours. That's how easy she is to talk to. And I guess we realized how long we were going, and we had to cut it short at one point. But we are going to talk again, believe me. But I want you to listen to this one thing before we get into the interview. So just sit back for a second, listen to this.
To succeed as a caregiver, you should be patient, empathetic, and have strong people skills. You should be observant and committed to making your client feel safe and comfortable. Caregiver responsibilities. Assisting with personal care, which may include bathroom functions, bathing, grooming, dressing, and eating. Following a prescribed healthcare plan, which may include assisting with exercise and administering medication. Ensuring the client's home is organized according to their needs and that safety measures are in place. You may also be expected to assist with some light housework. Providing emotional support and encouragement to perform necessary tasks. Providing mobility assistance may be required, for example, helping the client in and out of bed, a chair, or a wheelchair. Transporting or escorting the client to medical and other appointments. Monitoring and reporting changes in health, behavior, and needs. This all sounds wonderful, but sometimes, familiarity breeds contempt. In some cases, caregivers seem to lose track of the fact that the person with the disability is actually their employer and not their dependent. On today's episode of An Apple a Day, Jimmy discusses the subject of caregivers, along with a whole host of other topics, with his guest, Erin Fernandes, of the Facebook group, That Vegan Disabled Gal.
Without any further ado, I want you to sit back, relax, while I introduce you to that vegan disabled gal, Erin Fernandes. Okay, I want to introduce you to our new friend, Erin Fernandes. Hello, Erin.
Hello, how?
She is from That Vegan Disabled Gal. She has a group page on Facebook, and I'm going to put the address in the show notes. I want you to go over there and check out her page. She's got some unbelievable stories. There's a lot of chatter going on over there. But say hello to Erin. Hello, Erin. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. So, Erin, you're always saying you want to get your story out there. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I am 42 years old now. I live in the Berkshires. I had my stroke when I was 30.
Wow.
And I was in the hospital for 2 years total, like 2 years nonstop. And so obviously I went through a lot of physical therapy, a lot of OT, a lot of PT. I was completely in a coma at first, and for 2 weeks, and then I woke up and I was totally blind. And gradually, some of my vision came back, but it wasn't until about at least 1 year after that I could start seeing things. I could start watching TV. So, but for at least a good year, I was kind of I didn't know where to look at things. I didn't know how to target things. So it was very erratic. And so, but thankfully, I learned I need to learn everything again, how to eat, how to bathe myself, how to do everything. So,
are you legally blind now?
Yes, I am legally blind now. So, I am legally blind. I use a wheelchair or a walker to get around. My balance is horrible. If I try to stand up, I can't take a step. I fall down like a tree. It's a situation, but I try to do some form of PT, not officially with any therapist, but every day or so with my caretakers. So, and I try to do something, and as well as I try to do some computer work, playing on my iPad to help with my targeting and my vision. But again, it's a process. So, well, hopefully, I will be able to get some inpatient or get some home therapy, and then graduate to outpatient therapy. So that would be the goal. But the pandemic, everything kind of threw a wrench in things. So as you can imagine, but we're slowly getting there.
Yeah, the pandemic kind of threw everybody into turmoil.
Yes.
Especially the disabled people.
Yes.
Now, out of curiosity, with the pandemic, did you find yourself just locked away and staying inside?
Yes, completely and totally. I luckily my boyfriend or my caretaker would go to the grocery store and do everything for me, do all those things, go to the shopping, get everything I needed, so I didn't have to go out, because obviously being high risk, I had 2 strokes and 1 heart attack, so it just, and not being able to walk it or properly wash my hands. I'm like a small child when I try to wash my hands, so it was just safer to me to stay inside, which actually got really quite depressing. And I do take Prozac, but I upped my Prozac to 60 from 40, so just a minor uptake, and that did did take care of things. So I was conscious that I took care of it and just wanted to make sure. But
And what about now? Are you still wearing a mask?
I still I last time I went out was to get my nails done for my birthday, and I did wear a mask. I have no problem with wearing masks. I think we all should wear masks. Like with the strain, the India strain, we're not out of the woodwork yet. I can understand how and why people don't want to wear masks and they want to get back to life as normal, So, but going on in public places, I would always wear a mask just because that's, I don't want to get other people sick and I don't want to get myself sick. So it just, and being high risk, I think it's a smart thing to do.
I agree with you 2,000%. I still wear a mask. My wife still wears a mask.
Yes.
My wife, when she goes into like a quick shop or a gas station, grocery store, she still puts on the gloves.
Yes, yeah.
Especially if she has to like touch a machine like a self-checkout or something like that. Yeah, so my wife does it because of me. And she has the shots.
Yes, yeah. My boyfriend has the shots. His son has the shots. My caretakers all have the shots, and they do still the same because it's safe. I believe it's the smart thing to do. It's not a big deal for me to wear a mask for a couple of minutes, and it's not. I don't wear it outside when I'm like sunbathing or me like or if we're just hanging out with people I know, but I've not hung out with people, so I don't really know. But that's.
Now, did you get the shot yet?
Yes, I did. I got my shot. Yeah,
you did.
I was officially, I believe, vaccinated around the end of June. So,
yes,
so I've officially been at, so.
See, I haven't got the shots yet.
Yeah.
My doctor had told me to wait until the fall, actually.
Well, yes.
Because I have, so many underlying.
Yes, underlying conditions. Yeah.
And because I had asked him, I went to the antibody test, and I said to him, should I get the shot? He says, I would wait if I were you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my wife got it. A few months ago, actually. So I haven't been in a store since last March.
Oh gosh! Wow. So yes.
Yeah.
First time I was at a store was when I was at the Walgreens getting the shot. So I was like so excited. I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, I wanted to buy nuts. I wanted to buy everything that was wrong. I was like soda, things I don't even normally look at.
Things you don't even need. You just want to buy it.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait to go in the store. My big outing is I go with my wife and I sit in the car. I feel like a little kid.
Yeah.
Windows are rolled up.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been in a store since last March. But
wow.
That's just the way it is. I guess the new normal. I guess.
Yeah. The new normal. Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? But I'm glad you're still wearing the mask. I feel very strongly about the mask, and I say that a lot on this podcast. People don't want. It's a little thing. I don't see what the big thing is that they're complaining about. It's just a little thing that's going to save your life.
Yeah. It's like wearing a seatbelt. We're wearing shoes, and when you walk into a store, it's like you have to wear, you have to wear pants going someplace. So why not,
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. You put it over each ear. You walk into the store. You walk out. Take it off.
Yeah.
But people have to complain about something, I guess.
That's
But anyhow. So, you and I were talking, and a couple other people on your site, about caregivers.
Yes.
And, they mean well.
Yes.
I truly believe they mean well. But I know I've had some bad experiences with them, and you were saying you've had some bad experiences with them. And I don't think they come in meaning to give us bad experiences.
Yeah.
But,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I truly believe there's some people that just take it for a job, and you're just a job.
Yes.
And then there are some people who want to really help you and want to, and or there are others who get too committed and they think they're living your life for you. They like they just because you don't agree with what I want to do doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to do it. Like, you are here to assist me in living my own life. And that's what that's the program that I was a part of. That that was the big thing. Living your life and capturing your goals, etc. So it was frustrating. So, but now that I have my boyfriend and the son and another caregiver, it's more, I feel like I'm living my own life and I'm not living someone else's life or my staff's life. Because try dating when you have 4 different staff coming and going in and out of your house, and 4 different girls telling you what they think about your boyfriend or what they or why he's not good for you. No, it was not, the lines between professionalism and friendship got blurred quite a bit. So.
Right. Well, you put it really great. You said it was like having 4 different mothers.
Yes. Yep. Like having 4 different moms. One was a cool mom who was like, "Yeah, do it," and then one was like uptight, button-up mom. They were like, "No." So it is. So, but I believe all in all, people do mean well. So.
Well, you know what happens too? Familiarity breeds contempt sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And you know what happens though too? I think they forget that they're working for you.
Yes.
And not the
opposite. Exactly. Yes.
And that happens even happens like with doctors and nurses and especially in our community, the disabled community.
Yes.
They look at us like, well, you have no place to go and you're going to do as I say.
Yes.
You go to a doctor's appointment, and I don't know about you, I've gone to doctor's appointments where they've left me waiting in a waiting room for like an hour.
Hours, yeah.
And it wasn't until a couple of years ago I actually got smart and I said, wait a minute, I'm paying you.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and wait. That's like going to a grocery store and they keep passing you over. I'm here to buy something from you. I'm going to the doctor's office. I'm here to buy you a service.
Yes.
And if you're going to keep passing me over and pushing me to the side, I'm going to go to another doctor.
Yeah. Yep.
And it wasn't. The same thing with the caregivers. I'm not here to take orders from you, and I'm not. And you're not here to take orders from me either. You're here to give me a service.
It to assist me, and and you just assist me in doing things and assist me in doing what I would normally have done. For instance, there was one time when I wanted to go over to my dad's house. He had been diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to go just help out with the work. I used to help with phones. I used to help make phone calls because that's something I could do.
Right.
And there was a big issue as to they didn't want to drive me. It's 10 minutes away. You don't want to drive me. You don't want to waste gas money. Like it became like a thing. Like gas money became a thing, and it became like I could only go to the local grocery store or not the one that was cheaper for me. And more feasible for me to buy things at, but I couldn't only go to the expensive one, which was Stop and Shop right near us. But and so it just became I was living their life, like doing what they wanted me to do, and not what I wanted to do. So that was one of the issues. So
it's unbelievable. I never had them living with me 24 hours.
Yes,
but I had them coming 7 days a week to the house. I had OT and PT and a nurse coming.
Yeah.
And there was days where I really didn't feel up to doing what they wanted to do. Like, I have one good leg left. And the funny thing is the one leg that's left that's good was my bad leg to begin with.
Okay.
And they would say that I have limited range of motion in my right leg.
Yes.
And they were like, well, you have to straighten your leg. I said, if I could straighten my leg, I would.
I would, yes.
And they said, well, we're going to get it straight. I said, it didn't straighten before all of this happened.
Yes, yeah.
But they were going to come in and they were going to straighten it. And I would tell them, it doesn't straighten. My wife was here and she'd tell them, it doesn't straighten. Well, he's just being lazy.
No, you're not being lazy. You know what you can or can't do. You know.
Yeah.
You've been living in your body for quite a while. You know
exactly.
what your limitations are. You know, it's not something new that had just happened to you. So.
Yeah, this isn't what you're here for. You're not here for the right leg.
Yeah,
you're here for what's left of the left leg.
Yes, yeah.
And that used to irk me to no end. But I learned after a while. Look, you're not here. You're not listening. Get out.
Yes, yeah.
That's it. And but they think that they know what's best for you.
Yeah.
And maybe they do. But when it comes to you and to yourself and to your, like you were saying, this is your life. You have to live your life. You know what's best for you. They're there to assist you.
Yeah.
They're not there to live your life for you.
Yeah.
And when I seen that post on your site, I was like, wow, deja vu.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's even the same thing in the hospital. You're in the hospital. You were in the hospital for 2 years.
Yes.
How many times did they come in the hospital and say, Erin, all right, you got to get up now. All right, if you could get up, you would have got up.
Yeah, I would have got up. Yeah, like I would have. I was always trying to do everything I could to do whatever I could. I was like the ideal patient, physical therapy, OT. I was always with a smile on my face. I was like very eager to go. You know, I just wanted to do what I could to get better. I fully believed that I was going to get better in this world. I had some illusions that I was going to get better, and I wanted to become a physical therapist. But even when I did get better, I did progress to where I could walk on my own and just take someone's hand for guidance and safety because of the vision. But then had the second stroke about 6 or 7 years ago, and that totally, I call that the destroyer. That was the destroyer. that one put me down. So my vision is worse, my target is worse, my everything is worse. Everything's my I have right side weakness, and now I have the right and left are both so screwed up. Like I don't even know which side is better or worse, you know. So, but again, I did progress and I did get there. Just I had the second attack, and that kind of did me in. So I did live for quite a while, being like what life was going to be like. It's like, this is going to be awesome. I can do this, but it just fell apart, I guess.
Yeah,
and that's the sorry.
No, go ahead.
And that's the thing, is that you can do all the right things, and you can do everything you're supposed to do, and can still something can happen. You know, just like you so somebody listening today could be doing all the right things, could be going to the gym, eating healthy and working out, and have a stroke tomorrow. I have a heart attack. It just happens. It's a life, you know. It's just something that's what I think makes life scary. So sometimes, but
yeah, but you see, you have the right attitude. You have the right attitude because you're not letting it. Other people would sit down and say, "Well, I had a second stroke. It's time for me to lay down and just veg out."
Yeah.
You're not letting it do that.
Yeah, no. I would be doing, if I could walk around the house and hop onto the bike or to the treadmill myself, I'd be on that thing all day long, you know. So I can only do it with assistance, you know. So it's you know, it's harder, of course. So
yeah, but I bet I'll bet you $1 right now that within a year you'll be doing it.
I hope so. That's the plan. I hope so.
I because other people, and doing the podcast and doing the websites and stuff like that, people write, and I get I hear from people all the time. I'm done. You know, I hate that attitude. Oh, do I hate that attitude?
I think you can stay on the pity pot for a little while. You can be upset, but you have to snap out of it.
Right.
You and me, I have my days where
Oh.
I'm kind of like sad and depressed, and I sit here and I stare at the wall, and it just, you have those days. You have those moments where you miss your old life. That's natural, but you have to get out of it. You have to, you have to pull yourself out of it.
I believe everybody is allowed to have a pity party.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Everybody. But it's when that pity party just continues and continues and continues. I know people, myself included, I've sat down and said, I just can't go on anymore.
Yeah.
I've done it. And then, a day later, I've shaken it off, and I'm back in my den, and I'm back on the computer, and it never happened.
Yeah, you just have to kind of
it's like
find it from within. Yeah.
You just have to catch your breath. You have to let yourself catch up. But I know other people that sit back and they just give up. And how can you just give up? I just don't understand that. There's so much to think about it. Look at you. You've had the strokes. You've made progress and then had to take 3 steps back.
Yeah.
But now you're taking 2 steps forward again. So you still got to take the next step forward so that you're equal to where you were 5 years ago. And then you can take the next step. So now you're ahead of the game again. But you're doing it. And that's what impresses me with you when I read your site. Like, you just had the thing with your toothache.
Yes, yeah. My tooth. It's actually, I'm high on ibuprofen and Tylenol right now, so.
Right. Other people would be like drinking scotch and
I know.
Laid out in a drunken stupor, going, "Oh, I can't go on." You, you're taking ibuprofen and you're just continuing.
I have had the dead tooth. It's dead, and I can't get it removed until July 7th, so it's a long ways away. But it's not that long, but it's a long way. But I feel like the brain is going to explode. So.
When you got the toothache, that's light years away.
Yeah.
But like I said, you have it, you're dealing with it, and you're still going on. Other people, and that's how it should be. Just deal with it and keep going. Other people, like I said, you just impress me. And
thank you.
I read your stories there, and I'm just impressed. And when I read the story about the caregivers, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I could. But I think too, just another one to add to the caregivers. I think when caregivers come in with a downtrodden attitude or like a just let's get done attitude, I know for me, it affected me. When I know my caregivers are sad or upset or disgruntled or don't have any interest in what I'm doing, it makes me not want to do things. It makes me like because I'm a people pleaser, so I've kind of like always want to do the easy thing. So for them, I tend to just be like, oh, okay, it's okay, I won't do it. I just won't do it. I'll just be quiet. I won't ask for anything, and which I'm working on. Even my boyfriend asked me what I want to eat every night, and he says, I'll say whatever's easy, and I'll say, no, what do you want? So, it's an issue, but I tend to, maybe it's a little bit of depression, or if it's a little bit of like, even though I am upbeat, but it's kind of like, whatever's easiest for everyone, or I don't know if that's just me being, or if other people have that feeling of like, what does it matter? Like not in a depressive way, but like, I just want to eat food. So,
But I don't know if you look at any of the other sites. There's this one that, I don't know, has to do with anxiety or something. Oh my God. I go, because I follow all the disabled sites that I can on Facebook. And there's this one, and I dread clicking on it because I click on it and I read a couple of the stories, and I want to put an ice pick in my ear. It's just so depressing.
Yeah.
And I said there was one set that I answered on it, and they were like, I can't go on. And I said, maybe you should get help.
Yes.
And they gave me a warning. I was like,
Really?
They gave me a warning. They said if I answered like that again, they'd throw me out. And
You were just saying maybe you should.
that maybe they should get help.
Yeah.
And they said that I asked why was that wrong, and they said that's insulting. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm involved in the Women Living a Stroke group and Stroke Survivor group on Facebook, and I believe that's the only two I follow, and I even shared your post in that group, like the post you made recently about caregivers, and some people commented, but not a lot of people commented on it, so I guess just didn't have much to say or didn't have not have dealt with casetakers, so or because most people in the stroke group, unfortunately, or lucky for them, they've just gone home, or just had a stroke and gone home and had a little PC to a little OT. But I know there are probably many people that have life-altering strokes as well too. But it seems like that group, it mainly is like individuals who just they can still drive or they can still walk or some. I know there are definitely some that their whole life is destroyed, but it's like mostly I can't really relate to the group, but I'm involved in it because I obviously do have my stroke, so I feel like I should be a part of it and I try to participate. So
the funny thing was when I first had my amputation, the first amputation, the technician, I was living in South Carolina at the time, and the technician that was fitting me for the prosthetic, I was devastated getting an amputation.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And I didn't know where to turn. He said, well, there's a group on Facebook, and he says it's a closed group. I'm going to give you the address, and I'm going to give you a password. And he says, but be careful. Don't go into just any group. And I said, well, what's the difference if they have amputations? He says, you got to watch. He says, some people go into these groups, and they go into it with bad intentions. I was like, what do you mean bad intentions?
Fetishes and things like that?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't believe it until I actually experienced it.
There's all types out there for sure. That's whole other podcasts.
I don't even want to say what happened, but
yeah,
that's sickening.
Yeah.
That's really sick. That's twisted.
Yeah, very much. And I've seen. I know this is a little off topic, but people are posting things, and it was another group, but I quickly got out of it. It was a disability group. I'm not sure the exact name, but it was people posting. It was almost like a dating website. Like, oh, I had this happen to me, that the sexy girl, but a picture or a hungry guy, and I just want someone to take care of me and love me and care for me. Will you be it was obviously a scam or something. So I reported both the posts and things like that, and I quickly got out of the group because I was like, I'm not on here for a dating website. Like, and there are plenty of dating websites that I told the person, go to OkCupid, go to Match.com, go to Plenty Fish, whatever you have to do. So go. There's all those out there. So
it's amazing. But if you go into some of these like handicap websites, that's what's in there, and you really have to be careful.
Yes, you do. Yes, and a lot of people taking advantage of handicapped people. They like saying that like we don't have a brain or we like lost our mind. It's just like feeding us a story, like doing the whole catfish thing. So
without a doubt, the people think that because you have a disability. Either you're desperate.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
Oh, you're either desperate or you're completely stupid.
Yes. Yep.
And
exactly.
I that's another thing that I try like hell to get through to people's minds, especially the especially the people who have the disability. Don't let people take advantage of you.
Yes.
And I can't stand when somebody, like being in a wheelchair. Now you use a wheelchair.
Yeah.
One of the things that irked me to no end is if you're talking to somebody and somebody wants to get past you or by you, when they just move you.
Oh gosh, I hate that. Yes. When you're like your chair or something, you're just like you're like
a chair on wheels for them, so they just push you out of the way.
Yeah. Or I've had the fabulous thing of, I don't know if you've had people try to high five you or try to pat you on the head.
Yes.
Or be like, hey guy, how you doing? And give you that I just,
they talk to you
slow and
slow and loud.
Yeah.
Like, how are you?
Yeah. That happened. That happened a couple years ago. It was actually at an event, an autism event, and it was actually just like at an event. Like I didn't have autism, so but they assumed, I guess I did, and then they tried to high five me. And I was like, what? Like, I'm legally blind. I'm not, and so I didn't know what. So I can see them try to high five me because I can see it. So then they like, oh, just pat my head. How are you doing? And it was horrible. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or the ones that bend down to you.
Yes. Oh, bend. Yes. Yeah.
Though they get.
But, I appreciate that more because they're trying to be on the same level. They're not just talking to you, standing up. If they bend down and crush down, if they want to talk to you personally, like I tend to appreciate that a little bit more.
Yeah, but if they're talking to you, but if they're talking at you.
Oh yes. No, it's not. They're not talking. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like a dog.
Yes.
You know, they bend down and say, "And how are you today?"
Yeah.
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah. They're talking and having a conversation with you, but not to be like, "How are you doing, little guy?"
Yes. I mean, now if you see me, I have a number of tattoos.
Yeah.
I have a beard.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah. We had a former life before this. Something traumatic happened to us. But for me, I graduated from Emerson College.
Right.
With magna cum laude. I traveled all over the world with my family and my ex-fiance. I've been numerous countries. Like I'm not. I used to work in marketing and public relations. I used to be a special events director. So, I just would love to be acknowledged or treated like a person. So.
Yes, that's it, and that's what that's one of the things that's part of the mission of this podcast, and that's to get people to treat people with disabilities like they're still human.
Yeah, because they're still people. They're not something to be pitied, not something to be, oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
And, and all that stuff. Yeah, you can have pity and have compassion for me. But don't I'm not an injured puppy,
Right, exactly.
Have some understanding and compassion. So for what it's like to be me. Or maybe think outside yourself, what a day in life is like for me and you, because it's totally different, I guarantee, from anyone else. So
I always say, I never want to be thought of as the guy in the wheelchair. Think of me as Jimmy. If you see me coming, don't say, oh, here comes that guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Just say, oh, here comes Jimmy. That's all. And, the same thing with you. Don't say, oh, here comes that girl with the walker.
Yeah.
Here comes Erin.
Walker on the wheelchair, yeah.
Here comes Erin.
And I've had, before this pandemic, when I would go out into the community with my staff, I've had people say, are you Erin? Because they were a part of my group. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm like, how do you know me? And there was someone backing in the grocery store, And they're like, oh yeah, I follow your page, I follow your group, and I'm like, oh wow, cool, so
Right.
thank you, yeah, it's just,
Well,
and obviously they recognize me, so
there you go. See, you're getting popular.
yeah, I'm getting popular. Yeah.
There you go. But that's cool. That's cool. And I think for the most part, I think most people. But then you have that little fraction of people that just they're closed-minded.
Yes. Yes.
I tell you what.
They don't know what it's like, or so like the people for the most part have big hearts, and they just don't know what to do. It's just ignorance. It's just pure ignorance and unawareness, And I think for the most part, it's when someone's told someone something, or how to be, it's just like anything. You learn, from what you're around. I mean, if you've never been around someone with a disability, or never, seen something like that, you just don't know what to do. Or some people have that innate sensibility of what to do or how to act, but some people just don't know.
Well, what kills me right now is I see an awful lot of people that want to be disabled. Well, I don't know if they want to be disabled or they want to be considered disabled.
Oh yes, yeah. I don't actually think it's easier because we get parking or things like that. But the only thing, you can take that parking, and but
you can take that parking and put it where the sun doesn't shine.
Yes, yeah, you can take that parking, and but yeah, it's I think it's like more of like a society problem. I know we're going off topic, but it's like people like nowadays just like, I know, really, I don't want to say weak, but not right. Like there's a lot of mental issues going on in the world, and there's a lot of like depression and stuff. So people just kind of want to give up, and I don't know if this is just what you're alluding to, but people tend to think, oh, it'd be so easy if I could just like lay around and not have to do anything, but it's not.
I'll trade places with any one of them.
Yes.
Any one of them wants to take my problems and, my disability. They want to take my disability. Yeah. I will gladly give them my disability and my parking permit.
Yeah, yeah.
And my wheelchair. They can have it all. And I'll take their abilities and their job.
Yes, yeah. That's the same thing. Like it's even my boyfriend has an autoimmune disease,
mm-hmm.
and he suffers chronic pain. Like he can get out in heat. He gets really he gets really lightheaded, things like that. So it's like it's an issue, but he doesn't get acknowledged because it's not been fully diagnosed. It's not like it's an unknown autoimmune disease. So it's very hard, frustrating, I'm sure, for him, because like, at least I get acknowledged, and not that I get special treatment, but I get some more compassion and understanding. But
right,
yet, like when you have a hidden illness, like a I know that's what they call that, a hidden illness, or like mm-hmm. an autoimmune disease or fibromyalgia. It's people look at you and say, "Oh, you look fine. You're just being lazy."
Right.
You're like what? And that's so infuriating because he's probably one of the hardest workers I know, and does everything for me, everything around the house, everything. So imagine what that is like, having an invisible disability, So when people are out there pretending or wanting to have an invisible disability, they don't really have one,
Oh, I had posted a couple of things like that on Facebook. Yeah. You have a wheelchair.
Yeah, because you can see it.
Because you can see it. You get people that have lung disease or heart disease.
Yes, yeah.
You can't see those things, but they're there.
Yep. They're there, and they still needs to be acknowledged and not acknowledged, but not like you need a gold medal for it, but you need to be like understood.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, understanding. It's like I can't do certain things that I would have done 10 years ago. I just can't do like I just not that it's not possible, but I get more tired, and
mm-hmm.
It's not like I can just get up and go, and like I'll just hop in my car and look the way I want to look with my hair and makeup, because let's be honest, I don't want to go anywhere if I look like I crawled out of a trash can. So it's a lot harder and a lot of So I need to have my staff help me with my hair and makeup. I need to get dressed. I need full on care. Like I can't even pull up my own pants, without falling down. So I need pretty much, full on 24-hour care. So when people I've accepted that my limitations, but it's when others don't accept it that make you feel bad about it. Like, oh, why can't you see this? Well, I can't. I'm sorry. I want to go to that place or to that thing, but it's just not possible. So it's gonna take more time getting me out of the car than I'm gonna spend at the actual event. So
it's crazy. It's really crazy. And then that's why I can't understand. See, like what you're talking about, you get to the point where you don't want to go to certain places because it's going to take longer to get ready. It's going to take longer to get in the car and out of the car. So you don't want to go. And then you get people that are like, I want to collect disability. I want to be sick. I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, I don't understand that either. I don't like it.
I find that very insulting, actually.
Yes, because it's actually like takes away financially from the government because there are people who really need it, and then we're not getting it. So
it makes it bad for everybody that does need it because they have to weed out the fakers. So you have to jump through hoops.
Yes.
When you really do need it, when you really do need the help, you have to jump through hoops to prove that you're not faking.
Yes. And luckily for me, I was in a wheelchair at the time, and I was still partially blind when I got my disability, so there was no question of me being. So I never had to deal with that. But I've heard other horror stories of people playing, with individuals saying, I really need this financial assistance. I can't go on, and that's really unfortunate because it's like then the others suffer. So.
Right. Well, I had the same thing. I never had to go through anything. I went. They sent me to the hospital. I had to get X-rays done and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3. I went in. I was approved the first time. Yeah. But like you said, I've heard horror stories. I still hear them today. People will write me and say, "Is there anything I should do?" And I just tell them, "Be honest." If they, people are crazy too because they don't want to go to all the doctor's appointments. Well, if you don't want to go to the doctor's appointments, evidently you're probably not disabled.
Yes. You need to go to all the appointments. You need to go to everything. If you want to prove that you're disabled, that's you should do that. That's part of the program. It's part of the part of the plan.
I had one fellow. I'll tell you this real quick. This is 2 years ago. He wrote me and he said he got when you get that letter that Social Security sends you.
Yes.
And they want to know if you're still disabled. Well,
I always got that one.
he got one, and he said they want to know if I'm still disabled. What are they kidding? I was like, well, they send it to you every 3-4 years, whatever.
Yeah, every couple of years, yeah.
And I said, just fill it out. He said, well, I haven't gone to the doctor since, in almost 2 years. I said, well, why haven't you gone to the doctor? He says, well, what am I going to go to the doctor for? I said, well, because you're disabled.
Yeah.
Well, he says, well, what am I going to go to the doctor for? I said, because you're disabled.
Yes, yeah. Unless you're not anymore.
Well, right. If you haven't been to the doctor, maybe you're not disabled anymore. Well, he says, how am I going to go? What am I supposed to do? I said, well, write down the last time you were at the doctor. He says, I don't remember the last time I was at the doctor. He says, like 2 years ago. I said, well, then write it down. So he writes on the form, and I told about this in one of the episodes of the podcast. He writes on the form. He says, I haven't been to the doctor, but I'll go to any doctor you want me to go to because I'm still disabled. Well, they suspended his payments. He had to go to a doctor. But he says to me, he goes, that's not right. I said, he says, I'm disabled. Why do I got to keep going to a doctor? I said, that's your job. He says, what job? He said, I'm disabled.
Yeah, but you've proof. Like
proof
I
that
have,
you,
yeah, like I have annual reviews with Mass Health. Like someone calls me or they come out and the nurses and things like that. They look at my progress. They like how I'm like, walking a little bit, how I can open bottles and things like that. Like, and obviously because the pandemic, everything's been virtual. But
right.
but like I have to prove like I'm not running around anymore. I'm not jumping up down. Like So, but and I get that. I appreciate that they do that because it's like maybe if I've regressed, maybe I can get some extra services, or maybe there's something more they can offer and provide for me. So, like I guess that's the difference between people who really are seeking to get better and progress, and people who just maybe complacent. I don't want to speak out of the term, but just some people are just fine as it is. They're just fine getting their, collecting their disability check and just doing what they do, and not, just they're good with the status quo, I guess. To say.
But I mean, if you're on disability, not that you. I mean, I feel like I live at a doctor's office.
Yes.
Because I have so many different things going on. I'm at a doctor's at least 3-4 times a month. But
wow.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone should be at a doctor's office 3-4 times a month. But I am. But you should be going at least, once every couple of months.
Yeah.
For checkups, or,
Yeah,
follow-ups.
checkups and the dentist, the checkups, just to keep your overall well-being.
Right, exactly. This not going for 2 years, that's...
Yeah.
You're just asking for problems. And evidently, if you can skip the doctor for 2 years, there mustn't be much wrong with you, and or the other ones that they're on disability and they're out working.
Yes. I've not experienced that personally, but I've seen that, I've heard like family members or not family members, but friends of family members that they are doing that. Like, oh, don't tell so and so he's not supposed to be lifting that, but he's building a house for this weekend.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And again, it's like you said, they're doing this and they're kind of screwing over the government. Well, people that actually need it are happen to jump through hoops. And they're getting denied. Well, people that are out building houses are still collecting. It's so unfair. But anyway, like you said, we got off topic there, and I'm sorry about that. But back to caretakers real quick. But caretakers, like doctors, they work for you.
Yes.
And if they're wrong, if they're wrong fit, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, look, I'm going to try somebody else.
Yes. Yeah.
Same
nothing
thing.
wrong with.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I'll let you go.
I was going to say same thing with doctors, same thing with therapists. If they're the wrong fit, if they're making you wait, or if they're telling you things that doesn't sound right, you're entitled through Medicare to get a second opinion.
Yes.
Nobody says that you're tied to this doctor or tied to this therapist or tied to the caretaker even.
Yes.
You're entitled to switch. Because
you have the choice.
Yeah, just because we're disabled doesn't mean we're stuck with them.
Yeah.
No.
I think some people, like I said, it's like Stockholm syndrome. Sometimes when you're with a caretaker that you kind of don't like or fit you, it's you don't want to anger them because these are the people that are making you food, helping you in the shower, helping bathe, and things like that. And at least for me, it's not like I could get a new person right away. Like there's like if there was a week or two in time period, like a transition. So it's like you had to deal with that for a week or two. It was like it made it very hard and difficult because you were working with these people so closely together, but yet you don't really like them, or they're not a fit for you. And so it was kind of like there was a certain time period with every caretaker that I've ever just not fit with, that it's been kind of like going through the motions and just doing things to do things, just like getting through the day, because it's like, what else are you going to do? You can't be like, I don't like you, so, and leave my house, because you're helpless. So you have to kind of pick and choose your battles, I guess to say.
Right. But you also can't let them tell you, like, if you, just say, for instance, you're watching a TV show. You can't let them say, well, you got to go in for a shower now.
Oh, yeah, no.
You're not a child.
Yeah, no, I've never experienced that. So, and the most part, I always had young girls as my caretakers, because remember, I was 30 when I had my stroke. So,
Right.
like, I always had kind of like girls in their 20s or like early 30s, so as my caretaker. So it was almost like I had some really good ones that they were like more like companions, like friends. And that's where I guess the friendship line got across, the friendship caretaker line got across sometimes. So, but it did have some really, really good ones. And kind of really like seek to, help me live my life and express what I wanted to express and do what I wanted to do, and not was like doing what they want to do or so.
Well, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah.
I had a couple that reminded me of Broomhilda. The Beast of Bayonne. There's one. But
believe you me, I've had some bad ones too. So.
Yeah,
but,
one made me feel like I was in Stalag 13.
Oh gosh.
She came out ruled with an iron fist. Boy, the woman actually scared me. But but you got to just remember, they work for you. You don't work for them. They're not your parent.
Yes.
But some of them come in and they act like they are, but they're not. And you have every right. You just got to remember, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you've lost your rights. And just because you're disabled, you're not a prisoner.
Yes.
And a lot of people forget that, especially in the beginning. I think as time goes on, you realize. But especially in the beginning, someone who just became disabled, they're so, I don't know, in flux.
They're new. They're like they're flailing from learning this information or realizing that their whole world was changed.
Right.
And then I know before I was disabled, I knew nothing about these things, like nothing about like patient rights or home care or therapy and things like that. Because it just wasn't part of my world.
Right. And why would it be?
Yep.
But so I know a lot of people, when they first become disabled, they believe that if you're disabled, you're supposed to be in bed 24 hours a day. And
oh, hell no.
Right, exactly. They believe if you're disabled, you're like a prisoner in your house, and that's not the truth.
And how are you ever going to get better?
Yeah, exactly.
Reminds me of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the mother, the grandparents always lay in the bed. You remember that?
Yes. But that's the mindset of some people, that they're disabled now and their life is over.
Yeah, no.
No, you're disabled. Your life is you're being reborn as a person with a disability. That's all.
To find things that you like to do, or like maybe I used to be a runner. I used to knit. I used to paint, but so I can't really do any of those things now. So I'm trying to find new things that I'd like to do. Like I'm trying to work on playing my iPad. There's a Sims game that I really like, and it helps with my targeting. And it's kind of like living life, like can decorate the house, build things, and so it's not easy for me to do, but it gives me something to do and work on my targeting, and so I'm doing some form of therapy and like living my life, I guess, through Sims. So, but
well, look what you're doing with the group. You're bringing people out, whether you believe it or not. You're helping people with that group. Yeah. You really are. You're bringing. You're bringing.
I hope so.
You are. You're bringing people out that really would have no place else to go.
Yeah.
And that
and
means
the fact that it's like that. I know that it's called that vegan disabled gal. So but the fact that there are other vegans with disabilities. So there are other. I've had numerous people contact me and say, "Hey, thanks so much for this group." Like you don't have to be disabled or a vegan to be a part of it. You just have to be, I would say, just have to be a good person. But it just helps that I have a bunch of vegans that really enjoy the group, and then I have a bunch of people with disabilities who really enjoy and follow the group. And I just share my story, just share like daily updates and daily events or stories or random things that me working out, or just trying to show, and also showing the work I do with Artur's Acres. That's a animal sanctuary in Parkland, New York, and I fundraise for them a lot, because I can't physically do much, but I can certainly raise money for them. That's what I used to do in my former life. So I'm a huge, supporter of theirs. And I'm actually going to go this fall, and we're going to take the 2.5-hour drive and go visit the sanctuary. And I've already told Jamie, my boyfriend, that I'm going to jump out of my chair, or as much as I can, or fall out of my chair, and roll around with the little pigs, but not the big ones. I think King Carl, the big guy, he would trample me. So not the big ones. I will just roll around with the potbelly pigs. So I'm just hoping to share a message of compassion and awareness for everyone, for animals, for people with disabilities, because I believe that when you don't know, you don't know. But once you do know, you can make a change.
That's right. And I just want to let everybody know, I'm going to have the links for Artur's Acres in the show notes, as well as the links to Erin's Facebook page in the show notes. So anyone that wants to go and visit, because Artur's Acres, I started looking at those pages, and that's pretty interesting. They do have live videos on there.
Yes. They do a live update every day of the week, and some days like just randomly, and so you really get to see and interact and get to know the pigs and the animals. And Todd is an amazing individual. I can't express how much, like, I say I love you, Todd, whenever I'm commenting on the live feeds, because he's so amazing. And he is Todd 2, which we call his assistant is also named Todd, so we call him Todd number 2. So. And they're all amazing, and all the volunteers that work there, and there's just an amazing nonprofit. They're I can't express how much I love them and love what they do.
I'm telling you, you have to go over and check out that website. It's pretty cool, actually. It really is. And it kind of steals your heart when you start watching them running around.
Yeah, it'll bring a smile to anyone's face. If you're feeling lonely or down, or you just watch Artur's Acres, and you'll be smiling and laughing, because they're so adorable and cute, and they such personalities, all the animals.
Well, Erin, this has been fun, and I definitely want to have you on again, because I could go on talking with you for hours.
Thank you.
But
we have a lot in common, so although different, yet similar,
Yeah, but I want to definitely have you on again. I want to thank you for being on here today with us, and we'll talk again.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you all.
And like I said, we'll talk again. I'll have all the links in the show notes, and thanks again.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Take care. I want to thank Erin Fernandes for being on the podcast today. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to hold her to a promise. She's coming back on again in the future. And I want to thank you, the listeners, for being here, because without you, we wouldn't be here. And I want to remind you, no matter what, things can always be worse. That's right, my friends. Right now, there's somebody somewhere wishing that they were in your position. So things can always be worse. You've been listening to An Apple a Day. My name is Jimmy Apple, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great one, my friends.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.